Hello and welcome to this month's Hempfield Happenings. I'm Gretchen Hopkirk.
And I'm Emily Moser. We're starting this month's show off in Frederick, Maryland to discover this town's rich history and bright future.
Frankie looked at one of Frederick's remaining links to the Civil War.
Alex got a rich taste of a local soda store.
And Sarah hit the pavement to see how a new business is rolling towards the future. To take a look at Frederick's rich history, Frankie explored the National Civil War Museum of Medicine.
What we have here is the only surviving wall tent from the American Civil War.
Frederick, Maryland is filled with rich history. The National Museum of Civil War Medicine preserves historical artifacts that helped brighten the future of medicine.
The museum was started in 1996, and it was a private collection that belonged to Dr. Gordon Diamond. He decided that people really needed to know about Civil War medicine, so he, along with a few other collectors, got together and decided to create this museum. It's a great location because it's kind of a central point for a lot of things history-wise for the town of Frederick, because this was a major medical center during the Civil War. It'll kind of sound familiar if you've ever ridden on an ambulance because it's still in use today.
There's archaic old ways of doing medicine that because of the Civil War and its tremendous impact, we're going to see a drastically altered American medical civilization after the Civil War. It's going to push the ball forward. We're going to go from old ways of doing medicine to more scientific ways of doing medicine through the really hellish Civil War.
The road in front of the museum, that's the Old National Turnpike. It's the oldest paved road in America. It leads from Baltimore and actually heads out west through Hagerstown. During the Civil War, both armies took that road heading towards the Antietam National Battlefield.
I call downtown Frederick a really living history classroom. You're walking down these streets right outside this museum and you're transported back in time. Some of American history's biggest heroes have passed down these same streets. And I hope that they continue to have that focus on historic preservation moving into the future. So with one eye kind of moving forward and one eye looking back and knowing where we've come from so we can have a more successful future.
The National Museum of Civil War Medicine provides a fulfilling background on the rich history of Frederick. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Francesca Barrett.
Alex popped into a unique soda shop in downtown Frederick.
The North Market Pop Shop brings back a traditional concept in a modern style.
We have over 300 different types of soda that's from across the U.S. and there aren't very many places that have that. We change up our sodas a lot. We have local creamery ice cream, which is pretty fantastic and probably the best in Frederick. We just try to do a lot of different things.
We have a few people come in who've never been in the shop before, and it's pretty overwhelming. We have a lot of sodas, so we do get a lot of questions like what's the favorites, or what kind of root beers do you guys recommend? So yeah, people love it. People love it.
The Pop Shop connects past memories to the present.
We're just trying to bring in from across the country people's memories and favorites. We get a lot of people that come in and are just really happy that Frosty root beer was the root beer that their dad gave them, and so they get very excited to give it to their kids. Mainly, it's sort of a new, modern version of the old soda pop shop.
The future looks bright for the Pop Shop.
So what we're doing is we're going to probably put more stuff online and maybe get out a little bit more into the community, bring the sodas out to different events and things. And we partner with the candy store that's 2 doors down to do talks. And so just kind of get out there and get it known that you can find all of your favorites.
The North Market Pop Shop hopes to continue the rich history of soda stores for generations to come. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Alex Weaver.
A new business recently popped up in Frederick. Sarah went to see what was brewing.
Gravel and Grind is a coffee shop located in a historic building, and it's one of the many bright spots for Frederick's future.
We're a bike shop that specializes in bikes that are about exploration and experiences, and we happen to have a coffee shop inside of our bike shop, and we think that the coffee kind of helps bring people in and expose them to our bikes.
So Gravel and Grind is all about exploration, adventure, having fun, just leaving your cares behind.
It's about get outside, read a book, drink some coffee, explore the woods. That's what we're about.
Although Gravel and Grind is a new business, they are taking advantage of a historic building in downtown Frederick.
It dates from the late 1800s. It's a granary, which was used to store grain.
Frederick is a very hopping place right now, and finding a location proves very difficult for new businesses sometimes. And we saw this building. It was a cafe before, very popular cafe 17 years ago was the first time it opened.
Gravel and Grind takes a unique spin on the classic cafe concept.
Coffee and bikes cycling have a long history together. Back in the 40s and 50s and even before that, the pros there wasn't any doping then. They drank shots of espresso. So there's this long history of bikes and coffee. When I was at my other bike shop where I worked, customers would come in after a ride. They just want to share and talk. So giving them a space where they could do that, we thought would be a good thing to provide for folks.
Although Gravel and Grind is in the heart of a historic town, it has many plans for the future.
I would say, like a lot of like historically rooted towns, there has to be some balance in between like preserving the historic district and the history of the area, as well as moving into a sort of an era and a zone where the people who are inhabiting the town don't feel like they're living in this sort of archaic area. I think they're making great strides in that.
You know, until you understand history, you can't solve the problems of the future. And you know, a lot of people come into our shop and say, "Oh, you have a bunch of vintage stuff here," and I think those people are kind of missing the point. And the point is that you know, understanding history and understanding old ways of making things are the keys to figuring out how we can deal with the future. So yeah, we're going to keep on our current track unless something explodes in our face.
My big hope and dream is that it just continues to grow and become a place for people to come and gather and go out and participate in events together and share that love of cycling and good coffee.
Gravel and Grind will keep its historic charm while pedaling towards the future. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Sarah Moser.
Communities are built upon and thrive because of small businesses. We walked down East Patrick Street to talk to store owners about their histories and future.
We have been in Frederick for about 7.5 years.
We've been comic book shop in Frederick for about 33 years.
You know, I've been here for 20 years, and it's always been a great place.
We have lots of ideas, and there's lots of growth that we are exploring.
Definitely just to add more clothing upstairs here now that I have a bigger space, and more boots. I'll be putting in more boot shelves and just expanding that collection as well.
Well, we're always trying to grow in Frederick. You know, it's a small town, but it's really, especially the downtown area is just growing. So we're just trying to grow with it.
Thanks for watching.
We will see you again in Atlanta for the Student Television Network Convention.